The Starship Odyssey hung silently in Earth's orbit, its obsidian hull absorbing starlight like a shadow against the cosmos. Dr. Isabella Rivera stood at the observation deck, her dark eyes fixed on the gathering of alien vessels surrounding her creation. Each ship represented a different species of the galactic assembly of advanced species, crystalline structures of the Luminarians, the organic-mechanical hybrid vessels of the Nexus Collective, and the energy field ships of the ancient Etherians. Commander Nathan Foster's footsteps echoed behind her. "The GAS Council is ready for our presentation, Dr. Rivera. Though I must say, they don't look particularly receptive." Isabella turned from the window, her silver-streaked black hair catching the starlight. "They never do, Commander. Humanity has been the galaxy's upstart child for the past century. Every achievement we've made has been met with the same condescension." The journey to the GAS Council chamber aboard their massive station was tense. Isabella reviewed her presentation one final time while her chief engineer, Raj Patel, fiddled with the holographic projector containing their test data. The council chamber itself was a marvel of alien architecture, a vast spherical space with floating platforms arranged in concentric circles, each bearing representatives from thousands of civilizations. High Counselor Zixus of the Luminarians, a being of pure light contained within a crystalline form, spoke first. "The Council recognizes Earth's delegation, though we must question the wisdom of gathering the assembly for what appears to be impossible claims." Isabella stepped forward, her voice steady. "Impossible is a word that humanity has consistently proven to be temporary, High Counselor. We're here to announce our successful development of trans-dimensional drive technology." The chamber erupted in a cacophony of sounds, clicking mandibles, telepathic murmurs, and translated exclamations of disbelief. The Etherian representative, a swirling cloud of conscious energy, pulsed with apparent amusement. "Your species has barely mastered conventional faster-than-light travel," the Etherian's thoughts translated across the chamber. "Trans-dimensional physics has eluded even the Luminarians for millennia. What makes you believe you've succeeded where ancient races have failed?" Raj activated the holographic display, showing the complex mathematical models that had consumed 5 years of their lives. "Perhaps that's exactly why we succeeded," Isabella responded. "We approached the problem without the burden of established impossibilities. Our shorter lifespans don't allow us the luxury of centuries-long theoretical debates." Commander Foster stepped forward. "The Odyssey has already completed successful contained tests. We're here as a courtesy before our first full-scale trial, which will commence in 7 standard days." A Nexus Collective representative, more machine than organic, raised its sensor arrays. "Your data appears to defy fundamental laws of reality. This is either an elaborate deception or a dangerous misunderstanding of cosmic principles." Isabella smiled, remembering the moment of breakthrough in her lab beneath the Himalayan mountains. "The fundamental laws you refer to are merely our current understanding of reality. Humanity has learned that reality itself is far more flexible than anyone imagined." "This is preposterous," Zixus declared, his crystalline form pulsing with agitation. "We cannot allow untested technology of this magnitude to be activated within Council space. The risks are ours to take," Commander Foster interrupted. "Earth space remains sovereign territory. We're not seeking permission, High Counselor. We're extending professional courtesy by informing the Council of our achievement." The chamber descended into chaos as representatives argued among themselves. Isabella caught snippets of translated discussions, some calling for immediate intervention, others demanding access to Earth's research, and a few expressing genuine curiosity. Back aboard the Odyssey, Isabella stood with her core team in the ship's dimensional drive chamber. The heart of their revolution hummed softly, its nested rings of exotic matter and quantum field generators preparing for humanity's greatest leap. "They're scrambling their science vessels," Raj reported, checking the sensor feeds. "Every major race is positioning observation ships around Earth's orbit." "Let them watch," Isabella said, running her hand along the drive's outer casing. Sometimes the only way to prove something is possible is to simply do it. Commander Foster joined them, his expression grave. We're receiving formal protests from 12 different council species. They're claiming we're in violation of galactic safety protocols. Protocols written by races who never imagined what we've achieved, Isabella replied. Humanity has always learned to fly by jumping from the nest. In 7 days, we'll show them that the impossible is just a word. As the Odyssey's crew prepared for their historic test, the gathered alien vessels circled like anxious watchers at humanity's latest rebellion against established limits. Soon, they would witness the moment when humanity's determination to push boundaries would reshape the galaxy's understanding of reality itself. The week before the Odyssey's test flight passed in a blur of frenetic activity and mounting tension. Deep within the ship's engineering section, Raj Patel stared at his diagnostic screens with bloodshot eyes, watching for any sign of tampering or sabotage. The aliens hadn't been idle since the council meeting. They're trying another quantum resonance scan, Lieutenant Kira Yamamoto reported from her security station. Her fingers danced across the haptic interface, adjusting the ship's defensive screens. This time, it's the Nexus Collective, more sophisticated than the last attempt. Raj nodded without looking up. Let them scan. Our quantum camouflage systems are feeding them exactly what they expect to see. A conventional antimatter drive with some fancy modifications. He allowed himself a small smile. The real breakthrough is hidden in plain sight. The dimensional drive's true nature lay in its apparent simplicity. While other races had tried to brute force their way through dimensional barriers, Isabella's team had discovered that reality itself had seams, natural fault lines between dimensions that could be gently parted with the right application of energy. Commander Foster's voice came through the ship-wide comm. All hands, security alert. We've detected unauthorized attempts to access our computer systems. Level 3 lockdown protocols in effect. Isabella rushed into engineering, her tablet displaying streams of intrusion data. The Etherians are trying to breach our firewalls through quantum entanglement channels. Clever, but not clever enough. She connected her tablet to the main systems. Raj, initiate Protocol Omega. It's time to show them our other surprise. Throughout the ship, quantum processors that had laid dormant sprang to life. The Odyssey's computer systems didn't just use binary code. They operated on quantum principles that allowed them to exist in multiple states simultaneously. Any attempt to hack them simply created new layers of encryption. Multiple ships approaching minimum safe distance, Kira announced. The Luminarians are requesting an emergency inspection, citing credible evidence of dangerous technological instability. Denied. Commander Foster's voice was firm. Maintain our security perimeter. Any vessel crossing that boundary will be considered hostile. The next few days became a chess game of move and countermove. The alien vessels probed and tested, while the Odyssey's crew worked tirelessly to protect their breakthrough. Isabella spent hours in the drive chamber, fine-tuning systems that would soon challenge the galaxy's understanding of physics. 3 days before the test, they caught their first real attempt at sabotage. A microscopic swarm of nanobots, traced back to the Nexus Collective, had tried to infiltrate the ship's ventilation system. The Odyssey's internal defenses had neutralized them, but the message was clear. Some races would stop at nothing to prevent humanity's leap forward. They're scared, Isabella observed during an emergency meeting with the command staff. Not just of the technology, but of what it represents. We've done something they thought impossible, and it terrifies them. Fear makes them dangerous, Foster replied. We need to accelerate our timeline. The longer we wait, the more chances they have to stop us. The decision was made to move up the test by 48 hours. As the crew prepared for the earlier launch, the alien vessels grew more aggressive in their surveillance. The space around Earth became crowded with ships from every major race, their sensors constantly probing for weaknesses. The night before the test, Isabella couldn't sleep. She stood in the drive chamber, watching the gentle pulse of the dimensional field generators. Raj joined her, carrying 2 cups of coffee. "Remember when we first tested the prototype?" he asked, handing her a cup. "That tiny lab under the Himalayas, and everyone said we were wasting our time." Isabella smiled at the memory. They said the same thing about the Wright brothers, the first moon landing, the Mars colonies. She took a sip of coffee. Humanity's greatest achievements always start with someone being told it's impossible. 14 hours until test time. Kira's voice came over the comm. "The Luminarians are making another push at the Council for an emergency intervention order." "Let them push," Foster replied. "By the time they finish debating, we'll be making history." The final hours were a whirlwind of activity. Every system was checked and rechecked. Security teams stood ready at key points throughout the ship. In orbit, the alien vessels crowded closer, their sensors at maximum power, trying to penetrate the Odyssey's defenses. 1 hour before the test, Isabella addressed the crew from the bridge. "What we do today will change everything. Not just for humanity, but for all spacefaring races. We're not just breaking the dimensional barrier, we're breaking the barriers of what's possible." Commander Foster took his position in the command chair. "All stations, begin final countdown sequence. Dimensional drive to standby power." The ship hummed to life around them, power flowing through systems that no other race had even imagined. In orbit, the alien vessels detected the power spike, their chatter filling communication channels with warnings and demands to abort. "Drive signature is stable," Raj reported from engineering. "All systems nominal. We are go for dimensional transition." Isabella looked out at the crowded space around them, at the ships of races who had explored the galaxy for millennia before humanity left its cradle. In moments, they would all witness something unprecedented. The moment when humanity proved that impossible was just another word for something that hadn't been done yet. 10 minutes to test initiation, the ship's computer announced. Around them, the galaxy held its breath, waiting to see if humanity's audacity would end in triumph or disaster. The Odyssey's crew stood ready, preparing to take their species' greatest leap into the unknown. Dimensional drive activation in 3, 2, 1. The Odyssey pulsed with energy as its revolutionary drive engaged. For a moment, normal space seemed to bend around the ship like light through a prism. The alien vessel's frantic transmissions suddenly went quiet as reality itself appeared to fold. First Officer Diana Rodriguez watched her instruments with fierce concentration. Dimensional boundary approaching. All systems holding steady. Her dark hands moved across the controls with practiced precision. Reality shift in 5 seconds. Isabella stood at her station, heart pounding as years of theoretical work faced its ultimate test. The view screen showed impossible geometries as space began to part before them like a curtain being drawn aside. Boundary breach in progress. Raj's voice was steady despite the historic moment. "Drive harmonics perfect. We're threading the needle exactly as calculated." Then everything changed. The normal universe fell away like a discarded photograph. The Odyssey hung suspended in somewhere else. The view screen struggled to translate what they were seeing into something human minds could comprehend. Colors that had no names in any Earth language flowed around them. Shapes that seemed to exist in more dimensions than physics allowed drifted past like cosmic jellyfish. "Full sensor sweep," Commander Foster ordered, his voice tight with controlled excitement. "Let's see what's really out here." Lieutenant Yamamoto's security station lit up with new data. "I'm detecting patterns. Energy formations with clear signs of intelligence. They're nothing like anything in our database." Isabella's theories had predicted the possibility of life in higher dimensions, but seeing proof was staggering. The beings they detected existed as pure energy, flowing through dimensional space like fish through water. Their very existence challenged everything known about life itself. "They're approaching," Rodriguez reported. "Multiple entities converging on our position." The crew watched in awe as the dimensional beings gathered around the Odyssey. They moved with clear purpose and intelligence, their energy forms shifting through colors beyond human perception. "We're receiving something," Raj announced from engineering. Not standard communications, more like direct impressions. The universal translator is trying to process it. Suddenly, thoughts that weren't their own brushed against their minds. The dimensional beings were attempting contact, trying to bridge the gap between their modes of existence. Welcome, boundary crossers. Long have we watched the layer-bound races. You are the first to reach us while still contained in matter. The translator struggled to convert concepts that had no equivalent in human language. Isabella worked feverishly to adjust its parameters, trying to facilitate clearer communication. We are humans. From Earth, Foster transmitted back. We've developed technology to traverse dimensional barriers. Understanding/appreciation/amusement flowed from the beings. Your species sees paths others miss. Your brief lives drive you to look deeper, reach further. We have knowledge to share. Images flooded their minds. Shortcuts through reality that no conventional sensor could detect. Ways to manipulate space and time that the most advanced races had never imagined. The dimensional beings weren't just making contact. They were offering humanity a library of cosmic secrets. The aliens in normal space are going crazy, Kira reported, checking the long-range sensors. They're detecting echoes of what's happening here. Several ships have actually retreated from the test zone. Isabella laughed softly. Imagine their reaction when they realize what we found. Not just dimensional travel, but contact with beings who could revolutionize our understanding of the universe. The dimensional beings continued sharing knowledge, showing the crew wonders that defy description. They revealed layers of reality that the oldest races had never suspected and paths between stars that could transform space travel forever. You are young/quick/bright. The beings communicated. Other races grow slowly, fear change. You leap forward, embrace new thoughts. We will teach. Dr. Rivera, Foster called softly. I need your honest assessment. Are we ready for this? For everything they're offering. Isabella watched the flowing patterns of the dimensional beings, remembering humanity's long journey from cave paintings to this moment. We've never been ready for our great leaps forward, Commander. We weren't ready for fire, or tools, or spaceflight. We moved forward anyway, because that's what humans do. More alien vessels were fleeing the test zone now. The few that remained were broadcasting signals filled with mixed terror and awe. Humanity's impossible achievement had just rewritten the galaxy's understanding of what was possible. Status report, Foster commanded, his voice firm despite the overwhelming situation. Drive is stable, Raj reported. We could maintain this dimensional state for weeks if needed. All systems nominal, Rodriguez added. We're recording everything. Security protocols holding, Kira confirmed. Though out here, I'm not sure what we're securing against. The dimensional beings continued their communion, sharing secrets that would transform humanity's place in the cosmos. The Odyssey hung suspended between realities, its crew witnessing the dawn of a new age for their species. We will show you paths between paths, the beings communicated. Your understanding grows quickly. Soon you will dance between dimensions as we do. Isabella smiled, knowing that nothing in the galaxy would ever be quite the same. Humanity had not just reached for the impossible. They had grasped it and used it to unlock doors that the oldest races never even knew existed. The universe had just become much larger, and humanity was ready to explore every new dimension of it. The Odyssey's return to normal space sent shockwaves through galactic society. As they emerged from dimensional space, they found the alien observation fleet had doubled in size. Fear and curiosity drawing ships from every major civilization. Multiple incoming transmissions, Lieutenant Yamamoto announced. The Galactic Assembly is demanding an emergency session. The Luminarians are requesting a private audience. She smiled slightly. Their tone is considerably more respectful than last time. Commander Foster exchanged glances with Isabella. Interesting how quickly impossible becomes desirable. Set course for the assembly station, standard drive only. Let's not frighten them any further today. As they approached the massive station, Isabella worked with Raj and their dimensional being contacts to compile a fraction of what they'd learned into something they could present. The higher dimensional entities remained in contact through a quantum channel they'd helped establish. Your revelations will cause upheaval, the beings warned. The old ones fear change. They will resist, then attempt to control. The assembly chamber was packed beyond capacity when they arrived. Representatives from every spacefaring race crowded the floating platforms, their attention fixed on the human delegation. High Counselor Zixis spoke first, his crystalline form pulsing with barely contained emotion. Humanity has exceeded expectations. We formally request full disclosure of your dimensional drive technology and all findings from your encounter with the trans-dimensional entities. Request denied. Commander Foster replied calmly. The technology remains Earth property. As for our encounters, we'll share general scientific findings through normal academic channels. The chamber erupted in protest. The Etherian representative surged forward, its energy form crackling. You cannot hoard such monumental discoveries. The implications for galactic civilization are precisely why we're proceeding carefully, Isabella interrupted. Humanity remembers its own history. When advanced civilizations gained decisive technological advantages over others, the results were often catastrophic for those left behind. Are you comparing the assembly to Earth's colonial powers? A Nexus collective representative demanded. We're suggesting that power shifts must be managed responsibly, Foster replied. We've seen how the assembly treats lesser civilizations. Earth will not contribute to maintaining that hierarchy. Private messages flooded their secure channels, offers of alliance, trade deals, and thinly veiled threats. The older races were scrambling to adjust to a galaxy where humanity could no longer be dismissed as primitive upstarts. During a recess, Isabella received an urgent message from Earth. More dimensional drives were already under construction in secret facilities across the solar system. Humanity wasn't waiting for permission to claim its place among the stars. They're trying to hack the quantum channel, Raj reported quietly. The Etherians think they can communicate with the dimensional beings directly. Isabella smiled. Let them try. The channel only works because the beings want to talk to us. They've been watching all spacefaring races for eons. They chose humanity for a reason. The assembly session stretched for days. Every race had demands, questions, and proposals. Some sought partnership, others plotted to steal what they couldn't be given. Through it all, the Odyssey's crew maintained their resolve. In private meetings, Isabella laid out humanity's terms. We'll establish a new framework for technological exchange. No more hoarding of advances by the elder races. No more artificial restrictions on developing civilizations. The galaxy changes together, or not at all. Some representatives stormed out. Others stayed, recognizing the shift in power that had already occurred. Humanity wasn't just offering new technology. They were demanding a new way of thinking about galactic civilization itself. Your handling brings approval. The dimensional beings communicated. The old ones must learn new ways. Change comes. By the end of the week, the first new accords were signed. The Galactic Assembly would be restructured, with humanity playing a key role in ensuring technological advances benefited all races. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. We're receiving reports from Earth, Rodriguez announced during their final day at the station. 3 more ships with dimensional drives are ready for testing. The dimensional beings have offered to guide each crew personally. Commander Foster stood at the Odyssey's viewing window, watching alien ships come and go. I never expected to see the galaxy change this quickly. That's humanity's gift, Isabella replied. We don't just adapt to change. We cause it. We make the impossible possible, and then we make it available to everyone. As they prepared to return to Earth, the dimensional beings sent one final message. You begin only. Greater passages await. Larger truths unfold. Journey continues. The galaxy was transforming, and humanity was leading the way. Not through force or fear, but through the same determination and curiosity that had taken them from Earth's caves to the spaces between dimensions. The impossible had become possible, and that was just the beginning.